Are we live? Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the MC Show. We've got lots going on in the world today. Uh, some of you are aware, some of you might not be. James Fishback, the guy running for governor of Florida, he lost his primary, and a lot of conservatives are really disappointed and mad about that. If we take a look at his new video, or someone streamed it on him conceding. Dan Bilzerian also lost too, so we could take a look. Something I can give him credit for is his ability to reach out to Christian communities. Uh, he could touch all different communities, which that's signs of a great politician. And that's why a lot of people like Nick and Tucker were really disappointed in him losing, because he was probably one of the few right-wing candidates, paleoconservative, was able to grab people from different groups that usually wouldn't be conservative. So that's what I really had to give him credit for. You guys see the video? You guys see the video? You can't. Okay. See the video? You can't. Okay, I think you guys should be. Yeah, here we go. I'll restart it.
Good evening. Good evening, Tampa. 9 months ago, we started this race right here in Tampa. We started a race that was against all odds, a race
I don't know why the
that
camera's so shaky on this thing.
campaigned outside of churches.
Yeah, like I was saying, he was able to grab the Christians, grab all the other communities. That camera's out now. Great. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I don't know why it turned off. Now can we add this? Okay, hopefully it'll work now.
A race that campaigned even today in parking lots outside of voting precincts. And yes, a race that campaigned in Waffle House, and we're going back there soon.
Yeah, I really liked how he went to the Waffle Houses. That was great. People said that he has one of the best campaigns since Trump. 2016 Trump. And if you remember that, Trump did run a really good campaign. He was able to bring in big crowds, get lots of media attention, like James Fishback did.
The truth is that victory is near. Perhaps not for this campaign tonight, but victory for our movement has never been closer. I am here to tell you that America First is inevitable.
Yeah, the America First movement is. I'm in real big support. James Fishback was probably one of the most, probably the most mainstream politicians, people actually were running on this America First policy. And ever since Trump started that war in Iran, the Epstein files, all that foreign aid to Israel, more and more people have started to look towards Nick Fuentes, a little bit Tucker, Myron, and develop this America First ideology. And James Fishback was the only, he was the first one, I'd say, that's mainstream, that was actually running on these policies. And he gained support from people that even weren't even in Florida, like myself. So I think he's doing the right thing. Yeah, his supporters really love him.
I just spoke with Congressman Donalds on the phone and congratulated him on his victory.
Byron wanted to talk to him on the phone. That's funny. Didn't even want to debate him.
The truth.
Camera out again. Get that fixed. Such an asshole.
Good evening. Good evening, Tampa. It's inevitable. I just spoke with Congressman Donalds on the phone and congratulated him on his victory.
Okay, I'm not even gonna do the video. It looks like
The truth.
we're not working for y'all. Okay, but we'll look at Dan Bilzerian, okay? According to Dan Bilzerian, they cheated and they took away his votes. If you look here, you can see they're about 27% votes in, okay? Dan's got 8.1, Randy's got 8.6, 35, 37. And then, if you look here, he lost 2,000 votes. I don't know how that was possible. I don't want to go into the conspiracy theories, but what I'm going to say, maybe it's a electronic issue, but if it's not and they actually rigged the election, I'm not surprised. Because Dan was running on this really, you could tell that he was running really anti-Jew, and most people might find that extreme. I personally don't really think so. It's because it's an issue that people think about, but in the area he was running in, there's a lot of older boomers who are more MAGA, more pro-Trump, and of course, Randy Fine's gonna win because in that area, there are a bunch of MAGA Zionist boomers. Yeah, of course, you know they're gonna win that. And Sneeko apparently was a big sport of Dan Bilzerian. I don't know why. I think they're really close friends. But people like Nick, I don't know about Tucker. Jake Shields was a big fan of Dan. And that's crazy. If you look at all these comments, are all why vote at all. Jake Shields was talking about he took pictures on his laptop screen. And I think it's crazy that somehow 2,000 votes can just disappear. But it is what it is. If we look here at the House, right now it's 1651. I don't know. It supposedly went up. If he had those 2,000 votes, he still wouldn't have won. But makes you think how many they actually took. And if we look at the governor's race, James Fishback got third. Oh, yeah, look at that. Byron Donalds, 47% of the vote. I don't know why it's so slow. A lot of people are gonna vote Jolly now. David Jolly. I don't know much about him. I don't know what kind of campaign he runs because I don't really live in the state of Florida. But a lot of people who did vote for James Fishback are gonna vote for Byron Donalds. He's the MAGA supported. Oh, looks like the camera's running out again. I don't know why it's doing that. There we go. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Yeah, Byron, MAGA guy, MAGA supported, endorsed by Donald Trump. And Florida, I think we all know it's dark red country. It's the chances of having a Democrat governor in Florida very unlikely. Uh, yeah, I don't know much about these other candidates like James Shaw. I've never heard of him because I don't even live in the state of Florida. So, but yeah, everybody's running on James Fishback. I'm surprised Jay Collins got second. I didn't know he was that popular to get that much more votes than Fishback. But I don't think it's a good idea to just say that it was fraudulent. The voting doesn't work. I don't think it's good to say that because Byron Donalds got a bunch of funding. James Fishback, he got like 1% of that. So makes you think. I don't know much about the Senate primary in Florida. No, nobody notable I could think of. And then I wanted to look at some of Fishback's old stuff. Okay, let me close this while I pull it up. Save you guys some of a hassle. Yeah, but while gonna blow this up, it's just crazy to think that if James Fishback couldn't win his race, and a lot of people that are on the America First policy and that support it, that James is really their only hope because he was really the only candidate that could really motivate people outside the state of Florida. And I'm surprised he didn't get that many votes because he did all those important interviews. Piers Morgan, Tucker. he did that PBD podcast. Jack Neal. He did important podcasts and all that. Yeah, it's just really, and I don't know who people are going to start endorsing after that, because maybe president, because Thomas Massey, another America First guy, everybody was on board with me too, along with me. I like Thomas Massey. I support most of his stuff. I liked how he pushed for the Epstein files. No more wars, funding, cutting our debt, uh, reckless spending, ending the Fed. I think it's. I'm sad he lost too. I'm not really sad. I'm disappointed that Ja Thomas Massey, James Fishback, all these guys that really had younger men sport, I've lost, and it just makes you wonder who's really next. And and I think this will lead in 2028. They're probably going to try putting a lot of people are going to be backing Massey for 28. I don't know if Massey doesn't want to do that. I've heard talks of Tucker wanting to run 28. I've heard, yeah, just Tucker, Rand Paul, Ron Paul's kid. I don't know why this keeps unplugging. Stupid camera. I need to get a better system next time. This is real bad. Now it's a trash camera. I'm just gonna stop sharing. Okay, yeah, but what was that? Where was I at? Yeah. I don't know who they're gonna try putting in 28. Darn camera. If I move it along this side. Is there only one plugin? Okay. Such a hassle. Okay, but I don't know who they're gonna try putting in 28. A lot of people are gonna be backing Massey. I've heard talks of Tucker running, Tucker Carlson running. I don't know if Tucker Carlson could win. A lot of people, especially in the manosphere right wing space, think guys like Nick Myron, I don't know. I don't know if Sneeko thinks he's a Fed, but a lot of people do think Tucker is a Fed because his dad was in the CIA, and he wasn't even aware of that. But if Tucker does run, which is unlikely, I don't think he wants to, because running for president is a big hassle. I think I don't think he'd do very good. But I would support Tucker running for president. I don't think he'd win realistically. On the Democrats side, I think they're going to start pushing the DSA. I'd see them start pushing AOC because AOC's been paying with Bernie Sanders. I don't know why though. Oh fuck's sake! This camera. You know what? We're just gonna use our front camera. It's kind of crappy. Uh, yeah, I don't think if they do push AOC, I think people are just gonna think she's too crazy, which I don't think is very wrong. Yeah, I personally don't think AOC would win. If they do, it's probably the highest, the most likely presidential race for 28 is JD Vance versus Gavin Newsom. That's probably the one where the Democrats could win. but the Democrats would. It's really hard to say because that's either way. If JD Vance is able to run on this idea that, okay, yes, we made mistakes in the Trump administration. How can we learn from that? And how can we end this war in Iran, release the full Epstein files, and actually talk in a way that would curry favor to his campaign? That's his best option, his best bet. And if the Democrats start going on this abolish ICE, tax the rich, all this DSA mumbo jumbo that they've been doing with people like Melat Kiros, Zoran Mamdani, the Abdul Sayed guy in Michigan. I don't know how that really go. And I think that the DSA is most likely the future for politicians, which is sad to say because they're pretty disruptive and destructive, especially like if one of those guys were able to actually reach the presidency, the Democrats have the House, all DSA, Senate's all DSA. I don't know how America would look. I think crime would skyrocket. I think the national debt would go even higher. Um, we would be borrowing money, printing money, inflation would be through the roof, in my opinion. They're just going to be regulating a bunch of businesses. Yeah, the regulation of businesses is just going to hurt capitalism. Um, and if they're also going to run on this, okay, we're going to give you a bunch of free stuff, healthcare, Medicare for all, and if they run on that Medicare for all mumbo jumbo and healthcare for all, well, first of all, let me explain why universal healthcare is bad. Look at veterans healthcare. That's government paid healthcare. It's terrible. Veterans don't really get the service they need. We can't trust the government to be giving people all this money. It's not a good idea, and we can't trust the government to give people proper care. If we can't trust them now, what makes us think we can trust some DSA member, some DSA president, just spending a whole bunch of money on healthcare and on universal healthcare? And I think it would just our budget would increase, GDP, whew, inflation go through the roof, national spending. We would be in a larger deficit than we already are in, and I don't think people are gonna be able to get proper care. I think it's gonna be a lot worse. There's gonna be a lack of resources. People are gonna have too much. First of all, America's a sick country. We have a huge obesity rate, and I don't think America's compatible with universal health care. So people are just sick in America, and nobody's really wanting to get better. And I think that's a huge issue because obesity rates for kids are like 50%. Obesity rates for adults like 40. And I think that's just going to keep growing. America, we are a very gluttonous country. Sorry, somebody has to say it. We are, and I don't really see much of a push other than RFK. I'll give credit to the Trump administration for pushing MAHA, for redoing the food pyramid, which was needed. And I think that just universal healthcare in general wouldn't be a good idea. I think maybe if the government pays for stuff above 100K, actual expensive stuff, that would be a good idea. But just everything in general, not a good idea. What else did DSA push? Some of them want to get rid of prisons. amnesty for illegals. Here's the thing with illegal immigrants. They don't even we give them more than they make, more than they pay us too. And most illegals don't even pay taxes. Isn't that crazy? And I don't know why we're just gonna let that let them just stay here. We need to just end all welfare for illegals. And if we were able to do that, I think well, I'm not a big fan of welfare here. Here's why. Because so I'm a little sick. Welfare is one of the most frauded, scammed things. You can see this with all the Somalis in Minnesota. A lot of their scams are with welfare, with benefits, with government pension, not pensions, but just government funding in companies. And it's just so frauded, and it just increases our national debt. And I don't think that's a good idea to start just giving people a lot of money because people start getting reliant on that money. Look at what happened to Native Americans. They've just become super reliant on that, which is sad. And I think they should own private property. I've heard that some of them can't. And I think they should. Everybody should be able to own private property. I don't think the government should be in charge to take private property away. But it's crazy. It's a big issue. Oh, they also, and I'm not a big fan of abolishing ICE either. There are some standpoints where I could see that for funding reasons, abolishing that. But I don't think that's really needed. I don't think ICE itself takes up that much money in funding. But how they're able to operate, really, it kind of benefits us because they're able to stop a lot of these drug smugglings, uh, child traffickers. They're able to stop most of that, which who else is gonna do that when if ICE gets abolished? And I think that ICE itself that it does generally benefit the United States and the people from the United States. I don't really see why so much backlash for that organization. I don't know why people really don't want to deport illegal immigrants because illegal immigrants are technically criminals. They've committed a crime. It's in our Constitution. They are illegal aliens. They need to be deported under law. And I don't know why we have to just keep them here. And along with they don't even pay taxes and they just get a lot of government benefits, and I'm not a big fan of that either. So, some other issues I do see with DSA. Well, Mamdani, he recently opened this city-paid grocery store. Here's the thing about that. I just think that there's gonna be so much theft, so much. It's just food's gonna get rotten. I don't know if there's gonna be enough upkeep for that. And he's having budgeting issues. He just pushed the budget problem up like 10 years. So, and he's gonna worry about it then if he does stay in office that long. He's probably gonna make somebody else catch the fall of New York City. But yeah, and there's also this rise of lab-grown meat. Not a big fan of that either. A lot of the DSA hasn't really talked much about agriculture and farming, but they're big about the environment. So I have a feeling that most DSA members, politicians, they would probably back lab-grown meat. And lab-grown meat, it's not really that good for you. It it causes tumors and cancer it's just obviously it's not a good thing to be ingesting in your body. Something that was made in a lab, processed with chemicals to grow. Just put two and two together. along with that, what else? But yeah, I can give credit to the left for actually going out, doing these protests, rallies, going door to door. That's something the right needs to do a lot more. And if the right, right doesn't do that, um, I think they could actually start building up decently sized audience. But right now, I do think they're big. The current right wing movement, like America First, Myron, Sneeko, I would say was a part of that, but not anymore. He's just gone off the deep end. He's really hated by everybody. I used to like old Sneeko, but now he's just like a radical Islamist, which he did convert to Islam, which is his choice. I'm not gonna be here and slander him. I respected Sneeko. I do still respect Sneeko. He can have his own opinions, but when he starts forcing on others and just starts slandering, I just don't think that's okay. Along with that, Nick, it's okay. I like Myron the most probably. He's a really good debater. He's articulate. He actually knows what he's talking about. And if Myron were to run for any office, I think he would have issues running based on all the stuff he says. Uh, but I don't think he's really articulate and smart about it. But James Fishback was too. He still lost. But if Myron were to run, say for Congress, like a vacant seat, I could see him possibly win that, especially where he lives, Miami. I don't know how the congressional stuff works over there. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what else is going on. This is a big issue on X. I know David Jolly was a former Republican. Wow. Democratic Socialist Angie Nixon clinches surprise primary win in Florida U.S. Senate race? Congressional? What is it? Senate race. Okay, I just want to see. I know you guys can't see my screen. 'Cause it's just gonna be so bad. But actually, let me see if I can pull it up. Let's just see what Angie. What's her name? Angie Nixon. Oh, Richard Nixon. I'm not. I'm a. I like Nixon's character. I think he was a cool, funny president. Did Ashley Moody win the Senate primary? Okay. Angie for Florida. Okay, can we see what you support? And led the fight against DeSantis' unfair voting maps. Okay, here's the thing about these voting map things. A lot of them are actually needed and have nothing to do with race. I don't know why people think that. And here's the thing, running to lower costs, raise wages, and build a people-powered government that puts families first, not greed billionaires. It's not the billionaires' fault people aren't eating. What do you want the billionaires to just give all their wealth away to? We have an obesity problem in the United States, not a hunger problem. And I do think we do need lower costs. Oh, for heaven's sakes, you guys didn't even see it. I gotta add the stage. There we go. Okay. Raise wages, build a people power. We have a obesity. We do need lower wages. I don't think that's because of the billionaires, so I don't think taxing them higher. They have no assets to tax in the first place. Like, what are we gonna be taxing? All their stuff's in like real estate, stocks. Just can't tax that. It's just not humanly possible. All in crypto stuff we can't even access. Billionaires aren't even that rich. The most they don't have $1 trillion they can spend. That's their whole net with all the companies. All the companies built up. You can't really tax those things. And I most of these guys think that we can, but we can't. Union organizer, okay, fine with people. From gouging their prices to lead the resistance. They're just a lot of these DSA members, they like to blame. And they don't really want to hold themselves accountable too. 'Cause, hey, let's not forget, you were a state representative too. You're part of the problem. Okay, man? Serving as a executive director of Florida. Okay. I want to hear your policy. Priorities. Here we go. Where we stand. Yeah, everything does cost too much, and I don't think that's billionaires' fault. Okay, Medicare for all, free childcare. Who's gonna pay for that? Oh, you're gonna raise taxes. Okay. I don't see a single thing that says, "Oh, I'm just gonna lower taxes." Nope. It's tax billionaires what? You just can't tax $2 billion out of their bank account. It's not possible. A rent freeze? You can't really stop capitalism. I don't think you should. You're just gonna make landlords poor and everybody's gonna be poor. The the prices can't even go up or down. The person living there is gonna be poor too. Universal jobs program with inflation adjusted wages. Okay, if we're starting to give people wages, national debt. Okay, let's see your Medicare for all. Yeah, we are. No, we're not the richest. More for worse outcomes than anywhere else in the developed world. If you want to go to Cuba and look for, okay, Cuba's not developed. Okay, if you want to go to Canada, nothing's stopping you. Their healthcare system's not that good. It's just lack of resources. It's a protection racket for insurance and drug I do believe big pharma is part of that problem, but I don't think universal healthcare would even help benefit that at all. You gotta go to the companies itself. And I think less restrictions on the companies from actually producing would lower costs. So, Medicare for all, free at the point, no premiums, no deductibles, no copays. It's gonna cost a lot. Okay, coverage. Companies already cover people. If you look at any any company in general, they cover health insurance, not car insurance, but they cover health insurance. And I don't know why we, the government, have to pay for that. Capping, you can't, if you start capping it, they're gonna there's going to be so much backlash because there's already so many restrictions on that, on drug costs. Okay, the right to abortion, I'm not going to get into that. There's no way we can even ban abortion in the United States, let alone make abortion widespread and legal. So I think just leaving it to the states to decide and having states actually voting on that is a lot better option than just banning it overall or just l- legalizing it all over. Expanding home community-based long-term so seniors can age with dignity. Social Security is a scam. If she's talking about increasing that, then Social Security, you're just taxing some young worker and just giving it to some old guy who probably didn't need it. And no, it's not even it goes to that old person. It doesn't really go to you. People don't even get that much Social Security. Okay, paid family medical leave for every worker, guaranteed by law. Companies already do that. I don't think I don't know how the government's planning on doing that. We already have a huge federal government already, like a bunch of workers. I personally don't think it's a good idea to increase that due to the fact that getting more federal government jobs makes less private sector jobs. It's a fact. Like the more federal government jobs we have, the less private sector jobs we have. It's a proven fact. You can look that up. Childcare for pre-K. Okay, let's learn about that. Living wages. Okay, yeah, I do agree. Teachers do need to get paid a lot more, but that's not up for the government. That's for the school districts because the Department of Education doesn't really deal with funding. They're more for not even curriculum. I don't even know what they really do. They're kind of a useless organization. Okay, the thing with universal school meals, a lot of kids don't even go hungry to school. It's just the kids' lack of discipline and wanting to make a breakfast if they are hungry. And I know that firsthand. Uh, okay, let's look at foreign policy. And the war in Iran, agree with that. Rebalancing federal budget to invents. Okay, the way you're saying it, our federal budget would probably increase and our deficit would with all this Medicare. Okay, military aid. It doesn't say all military aid. And she wants to increase all foreign aid. The thing about foreign aid in general, it goes to the richest people of the country, and you expect them to just distribute it evenly. That's not how it works. And it it doesn't really ever go to the people. It just stays for their federal. For example, let's say we sent 20 billion to Turkmenistan. Turkmenistan's government would get that. How can we trust them? Just okay, we're gonna plop it around. No, they're just gonna hoard it all. Ending mass surveillance. I do agree with that. We do need to get rid of Flock. Okay, she's trying right here for this sh- end data sharing with federal immigration enforcement. Like I know she's trying to curry favor for all these voters who are sensitive to. Oh my goodness, ice out immigrations. We like eliminating immigration. Let's go, dude. We get it. Okay, you don't have to blame ICE for everything. Okay, yeah, I agree with ending federal funding for mass surveillance systems without guardrails. Yes, any federal mass surveillance. Do not support my tax dollars going to that. Okay, here we go. Protecting democracy, getting money out of politics. Here we go. How is she gonna abolishing super PACs? Okay, good idea. APAC should be abolished. Should register under FAFA. Restoring and expanding the voting rights. Ending racist voter suppression and burdensome voter ID laws. Can you tell me how a voter ID is racist? If someone doesn't have their ID, is that the federal government's fault? No, it's theirs. We can't blame the government for racist voter suppression. I don't know how voter suppressions are rooted in racism. I'm interested to hear how she thinks that, why she thinks that. Public financing of elections. Corporate donations. If a corporation wants to donate, they can. I don't really shouldn't ban the PACs in general. We should stop them from donating because it just creates this bribery, which nobody in America wants. It just makes untrustworthy politicians. State out for Washington. That's just a hassle. I don't think anybody in Washington D.C. wants that. I have to get a whole government there. The state's like tiny. That'd be a tiny state, smaller than Rhode Island. Real binding process for Puerto Rico. State out independence-free association with another path, decided by the people. No vote, President. No vote. I'm pretty sure people in Puerto Rico can vote. I'm pretty sure they voted for Trump, and they're citizens. I don't know how that's our fault. I don't know what she plans to do with Puerto Rico. Okay. Billionaires and corporations pay their fair share. 5% annual tax. Only a net worth above 1 billion. Okay, what are they going to be taxing? People who make $1 billion pay less taxes than somebody who makes 100K. Common sense. Closing loopholes and cracking down corporate price gouging. Wow. Okay. That's it. So now we see that they're just. I don't know what to say about that. I just explained it all. We'll look at one more candidate. Let's look at Dan Bilzerian's page because I'm interested to see what he was saying. Okay, let's load it up. I can't even find it. Okay, well, I do need to get off. I'm really sick right now. Thank you for watching the show. If you are watching it, please give me feedback. This was a pretty trashy stream. I'm sorry. I'll try to make it. I will make it better. Okay. See y'all next time.